It is a wonderful January day to be up and at 'em. You feel as the ship rolls its way back into an empty slot as you hear many voices throw ropes over the edge of your very long boat poop deck, over the edge of the railing, and somebody on the other side helping tie them down. Conversations between sailor and people working at the docks proceeds to flood your ears as a very bright winter sun overcasts over the small port. You find yourself after a quite a long travel now. It has been a while since land, probably around a month, anywhere between 4 months to 3 months, probably. Now, as you can hear the boat creak and the masts lean side to side as most of the ropes are being secured from one end of them to the other. What is your character thinking as they make their way off of this newly docked boat and onto port?
So we just got back into port from doing what?
So,
Just fishing?
remember correctly, yes, a very normal fishing trip for you guys. You got quite a good haul, but you had gotten this a while ago. You had gotten this around, early November, before most of the ice started brushing up, and then most of this was travel, so a lot of these fish that you have with you are on ice. Most of what you've collected are relatively medium to large, some small, but mainly your crew used it for bait. But some good holes, if I remember correctly, what is on your boat currently is you should have, let me check your data, you should have a foam fail drifter. You should have one of those, which was a lot harder to catch because there weren't a lot of calm currents over the course of early November. Most of what you do have, though, is currently crab, specifically keel gnaw, because that was found around a lot of the, the early parts, but you would use that for bait, like I was kind of saying. You would kind of, like, broken those up, used it for crab bait. And then the most active, fish that you currently have on the boat, on the terms of, like, still larger, was probably largest you could find, excuse me. Largest you could find, if I make sure that I have it, was a lot of hoppers, since most of what you did was inside of the Bale area.
Okay.
But Salt Lick hoppers, and swarms of, like, drift needle. So kind of like a big range of a lot of stuff. Nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary for you, though. You do return back to port. Your captain is in the hopes of sailing a good amount of this, because most of these fish are found towards the eastern continent. So you've gone from eastern continent, Azalea of Juchi, back to the western continent, where Nostid is, where you currently are in the capital city of Grant.
So this is not my ship. I have a captain right now.
Yes, at the moment, it's currently captain.
Okay.
This was the crew you helped put together, though, if you remember from
Cool.
the backstory.
Right. So, I guess at this moment my character would just kind of be, as the crew is taking the boxes of iced fish off of the ship, I'm kind of standing there with my clipboard of information and my bestiary, kind of noting what's what, where, what fish we have, what our estimated price for each box would get us in terms of cuts.
Yeah, I would agree.
Things like that.
what does your character look like at this moment? Is he dressed in, mostly sailor outfit related things, or?
Yeah, my full normal sailor outfit, maybe excluding the captain's hat and the captain's badge.
Mm,
Um, uh, the clean shaven, very. I have my normal piercings and whatever jewelry that I'm wearing currently. As I would assume, I'm pretty high up ranking in this ship, even though it's not mine. So I feel like. No scars yet. I have no battle wounds yet because shit hasn't gone down yet. But I'm just kind of minding my business, marking off what we've caught, making sure everything that was on the ship is off the ship in order.
Right. Making sure all the boxes leave, and find their placements and find their home. All right. In that case, as things are being picked up, placed down, moved from, one place to another, and you documenting them, most of this dock area is quite active. You are currently in the trade capital of Grant, which is one of the biggest, if not the largest, one of the top 5 most profitable cities in Ophelia, which is quite useful to be at right now. For you, this was the capital city that you kind of called your big city home. You lived, down the riverside, way up the ways, and for a long time it was fishing with your father, and bringing them to places like here. Now, your father never caught fish like this, of course, but that's kind of where we lead to with the evolution of your character, is that, inspiration to kind of like do the same, if not more, really. You know your way around here kind of fairly, mostly the dock areas, as it's where you've mostly spent your time, of course. As you do so, everything makes its way off, and gets put in the wagons and, whatever you guys are currently using that the dock is giving you, just to make movement. You hear a large box be picked up, and just kind of like placed down on top of like one of the back bits of one of the many wagons that you're pushing, and it's Rowan. He picks up one big crate, slides it on top of another, before asking for a rope from the other side of the wagon. He turns over to you as he's kind of like fixating the wagon in. He goes, "So how much do you think we might be looking at?"
Well, if my... I gotta look at my bestiary. What are the... Okay, working cuts. Okay, I see. How many... If you were to give me a ballpark guess...
I have the number for you. Right here. Because I had calculated everything before. I realized it's not in your thing. So... Yeah. What?
I was gonna do some quick maths.
Raking it over. Making sure it's tied down and pulled up.
Did you send it?
I did.
Oh, hold on. I have to look at it.
Tied down and pulled up. Making sure it's really nice stuck in there. Those crates aren't going anyway.
Well. God, fuck. God, you're really yanking those fucking those fucking ropes, are you, man?
Mm-hmm.
So, if my calculations are correct, I'd have to say that after this haul, it's not bad. Pulling around 590 gold.
Do you think that's gonna get us through the winter? I think so, right? Just through February and March. And then we're back to the reef areas in early April.
I kind of while he's still tightening the rope, I kind of place a hand on his shoulder, and give him a quick pat on the shoulder and say, everything from now on will work out just perfectly. Don't you worry.
Whatever you have to say. Well, I am parched because I can't eat ocean water now, can I? I'm gonna go find something to drink. You are more than welcome to come with, but I believe your job, since I'm to rely on you, is to make sure this gets sold.
Sounds about right.
So,
you go enjoy your
me and the rest of the guys are gonna get a drink, and see you out there.
Enjoy yourselves.
And after that, you watch as like Rowan, after like tightening everything down, he takes a one knot of it, makes a quick knot on one side since the other side's kind of like already worked its way in. Wraps it up, gives it off to you to handle and, you know, pull down the way. There's a horse already pre-waiting on the end of the wagon. As he grabs a couple of the other crewmates making their way off the ship, and each one gives you a pat on the back before making their way down and leaving it up to the big guy, finally, to go do all of the rest of the money work and whatnot.
Alright, I crack my knuckles, crack the neck, and then I hop up on that horse and I start
making our way.
Making our way.
With that in mind, you make your way down through these busy streets. And it is quite a lively day. Not the most active day you've probably ever seen at Grant, but because it's not really much of trader time since most of the water has made its way over and frozen itself over, you kind of begin to notice that, you know, it's gonna just be a day. A good day for probably selling, as it probably won't be a very long line at the fish cuttery, making sure those fish are all nice and chopped up, worked out. It won't be a long line, so not a long wait, so probably everybody can back to their homes, and we could all call it a season. As you make your way down through the streets, you eventually stop off just at a distance, fairly, from the from the actual fish market itself. You can see that, like I said before, most of the people that are active there are looking for more lower meats, and fish will probably go for a pretty understandable amount at this time of year, which just makes your life so much better. Alright, as you arrive and you pull up the horse to the marketplace, how do you proceed?
Well, I would assume that I've been to this market several times. So, I'm gonna start making my way down the market, just kind of looking around at the different people. I'm gonna be people watching as I walk to my favorite vendor.
People watching.
Mm-hmm. Saying hello to people, fucking around with the kids as they're playing in the shop for some reason.
As you make your way down, like you said before, kids are running amok. Most of, you know, this area now is relatively not as dense as you kind of remember it. But it still is the home city, you know. Kids making their way through under wagons and whatnot as people are trying to make their way by. You see some old family friends and whatnot, some acquaintances that you met a while ago and kind of just remember as a face, but if you were asked to give a name, you probably won't remember them. As you make your way towards the fish market, you can hear a loud voice come off from a distance. Hey! As you are welcomed by one of your more popular and more favorite shopkeepers. A halfling gives you a very strong wave as he leans over the table. You can hear somebody behind him. Calm down. He's gonna make his way over here at one point. Yeah, but I'm happy to see you. Can a guy be happy to see one of his good friends? Good friends from the ocean, you know? Me personally, I can't do the ocean. So I prefer, you know, a nice wave to hear the stories from the great open waters. And he gives you a large wave as you make your way over. As you finally approach the desk, you hear your halfling friend. Ooh, and even the better parts. The fish. How much do you think you got us for us today, huh? And you can see that a friend soon approaches. It is a half-orc man standing behind the halfling. He puts his hand in, you know, kind of like first starting at his shoulder, but then moving to his chest before moving the halfling back. And goes, "You look like you've got a couple of pounds of stuff. Can I see what you have?"
Absolutely, mate. Have you look?
He goes through and helps you with a couple of the things that were easier to lift off, and then you sit there and count with him. He goes, Quite a good haul. Quite a good haul. Alright, let me get the books and see what I can't work out for us. If you mind talking to him for a little while. I think he has stories that he would like to hear. Your halfling friend immediately jumps back into the conversation. Like I was saying. So what do we got? Open ocean. East continent. Many of us have never been there before. Any good finds? Did you go to the Triumvirate? I hear those people are pretty cool. Pretty cool.
What was the biggest one that I caught? You told me it, now I forgot it. Foamvale. Yeah. Foamvale Drifter. Okay. Well, did I make my way to the Triumvirate?
You what now?
How far did I go?
From the wagon?
From the out of port, like where did I just come from? When
got the ship back? Where you came from, there should have been somewhere. Where you would just come from. When looking at the map, if we go back, you would just came from the wide outer coastal lines of the East Coastal Ocean, roughly around this area here. Is where you did a lot of your early season, and then as season began to fall in at the end of September, you headed southbound and went to the Narok, around the Narok Islands, before, you had to call it a season, and then proceed to make your way up through this way, and then back to Grant. So, kind of like start around here, make your way back down, hang out down here, make your way back up, and then you find yourself en route to Grant.
Okay. Got it. And where did I catch the Foamvale?
Foamvale should be located...
It'll probably say it, known range, open seas, calm currents.
So yeah, that should have been very early in the season.
Okay.
If that was by Ribbon.
Okay. Then I respond with, well, we started our journey out right off the coast of Rebun.
Yeah.
Rebun. And worked our way south as September came to be. But one of around the few biggest fish that we've caught. And I say this right as the half-orc starts pulling it out of one of the boxes. Mm-hmm. He pulls out how many did I get? 2?
You got 2 of them.
2 Foamvale Drifters. Quite decent size, actually.
He holds them up as he kind of, like, leans them over the box and has to, like, hold them from a hand and kind of, like, tries guessing the weight before... He kind of gets, like, the weight right for one of them before he grabs the next one. And then he doesn't totally trust it, so he would rather just go and weigh it himself before he kind of, like, makes his way back around there. Okay. Did you see any girls?
No. As much as you might what's the word? As much as you might think, I'm not much of a ladies' man. Don't really have much use for that now would I, if I'm always on the sea?
I believe that is most of the point. I mean, you gotta find something eventually. You can't stay out at the water. Do you plan on staying out the water until you die?
What's my god right now?
I don't think you have a religion. Yeah, goddess of the hunt. Should be. Gosh darn, we lost so many of your notes because we made your thing so early.
I know. I should put it in my physical notes. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do. Just put once you tell me.
Yeah. We made your character so early. We forgot so much of your stuff. Good fish brawn. I've also got salmon.
All right.
Salmon jerky if you want some. I'm munching on it most of the day. Really dried out. It's good when it's dried out.
Salmon jerky.
It's decent.
I might persuade some.
You want to take a bit?
Yeah, I'll take a bit.
As you take a little bit from a bowl that he offers you, kind of just holds it up to you. You take a bit, take a bite. It is...
What? Real quick. What's the goddess of the hunt again?
I sent it to you.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Sorry. I got
as you take a bite, it is, for jerky that you would expect to be kind of, like, tough, it's very easy to pull apart and to kind of, like, chew in your mouth. It's very, like, soft. It's not super tender for, like, a jerky that you would assume that most of the time, you know, you have to take it, so, you know, good crunches out of. So it's very fish-like for a jerky still. Of course it is, local trout. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I would probably give it, for your taste buds, I don't think it's very good. I will say that. It's not crazy. It's like eating a cracker with no, like, eating a cracker with, like, no hummus or no, like, extras.
Oh, okay.
It's very bland for jerky. It's like no season kind of feel.
Not bad. Have to say, I don't hate it.
You don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I do.
Okay. If you say so. No undercharge. Oh! You know what I found out recently? I had gotten a news. I heard some news, and I believe that the new United Republic bestiary and all the new documents of new fish that have been found just off of the coastline of the Narok Islands will be coming in about a week.
Oh?
And I believe that one of them is a migrating fish that you can find in northern Oregon, but I don't know too much about it yet. I'll have to learn some more about it later. Something to think about. As he says that, he's off to the side. You hear your orcish friend, or half-orc friend. He makes his way over, and he places one of the more medium-sized fish on the table. He takes a knife, kind of like goes outwards with the knife and scans the quality. Really is what he's very good at. He's very good at, you know, quality management and other things like that. Um, and he takes it, you know, cuts it and takes a look inside most of them. He goes, "Oh, quite a hefty amount you have here. How much were you looking for?"
I pull out my notebook from my pocket on my thigh. I start going over my notes again, and I say, "Well, estimated value from what me and the captain were talking about earlier on the ship was around 590 in
In
gold."
gold. Okay.
But I've known you all long enough. I'm sure we can work something out.
You can see that it's kind of like taking him a second. He lifts up the fish with like one finger and drops it. I can do best 493.
520.
Give me a persuasion check.
Shit. I gotta do it in the thing. Hold on.
Yep.
Remind me what the thing was again.
Exclamation point, roll, space, how many dice you're rolling, and how many sides, then D, and then how many sides.
1d20. And then plus whatever
Plus
modifier, correct?
or minus whatever modifier.
So it'd be exclamation point roll 1d20 plus 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Persuasion, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What? Did I do that right? That didn't come out
Nope.
looking the way it's supposed to.
Nope.
I did not do that
Hang on.
right.
What was it?
Exclamation point roll 1d20 plus 5. There we go. Got it. It's because I did capital D.
Ah! Minor technical difficulties, a 15. He sits there, and your halfling friend looks up to him and says, "Oh, that's not good." $504. I'll do 510, but that's the highest I can go. But I would also not be able to give you and your crew any percent of the cuts. So that would be me buying your haul.
Buying the whole haul, not leaving food for
Nope.
the crew. $500 flat. And leave 500 flat and leave me enough food for the crew.
He takes out a pencil and kind of just does math on a piece of paper as he's trying to like add up what he could afford out of the situation. How long do you want food for?
How long am I in town for?
you would normally just be going home after this. So this is
would be it.
this is end of season.
End of season.
So
okay.
this is what people are taking home to families.
Okay. How many people are in my crew?
You're gonna be looking at about, for your boat, like 32, including you.
Okay. Then excluding me. Let's go 500 and enough food for a week.
Are you in 2 meals a day?
Yes.
Average portions? I can do 485.
490.
I can do 490 and I can do 490. I can do 490, but this is excluding you?
Yeah, this is excluding me. Meaning I won't take food home. This would just to feed.
I can do 490, but it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be 6 pounds offal. The rest will be anywhere between chuck, brisket, sirloin, and maybe a few ribeye and round, but that's the best I got. I'm sorry. I know I'm a little bit better about that, but we're progressing right now. We'll put it that way. So 490, 6 pounds of it will be awful. Awful, not awful. Awful.
As long as this is enough food to keep my crew happy and to keep my captain happy with the money that he's getting.
So yeah, I mean, you'll get a week with everyone divided up and a couple of extra, probably maybe one full good cut for almost everybody, if that doesn't include you. But you will need to figure out how 6 pounds of it gets distributed. That's on you. But with what you have, and what I can offer, the halfling butts in, he goes, you can offer him a little bit more? No? I mean, he's a good, he comes here often, we get good stuff from him. The orc holds him off to the side. 490 and 6 pounds.
I'll take it.
Okay. I will make sure that this is sent out by... I can get it out by a week and a half. Distributed to usual mail districts. Is there anybody new?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. So they will be delivered about a week and a half or so. Yeah, so
sounds good.
that's the best I can. Yeah, best I can do. All right, sounds good. Shake hands.
Shake hands.
You reach out and your hands come together. Good shake, solid shake from man to man. But the one thing that kind of will leave you a little bit offset is the fact that that is a lot less than probably what you should have gotten, and that is almost 100 gold coins less. Which, with how things are going, that is quite a significant amount of money. For what it's worth. But you take it. Using passive and strength, you help him move some of the boxes off. And give it to him as you kind of like wave goodbye. The halfling looks... What's your passive insight?
My passive insight is 14.
With a passive insight of 14, you can tell that the halfling looks almost kind of guilty. You can see that that's not how he wants to treat you, but for some reason, there's another thing going on, and with passive insight, you can tell that money is probably tight right now. And they were trying to give you something for it, because it is an amount, but it is for what it is worth. But it is a very interesting time in January, like it normally is. You've never gone that deep, really, but it's, you know, better than losing it, half of it to the sea, like times in the past. As you make your way down, moving some of the stuff down and a ways, you can see that one of the marketplaces is selling hats. Very stylish hats. And, you know, it does catch your perceptive eye. You give it probably a quick glance before being interrupted by a good friend. Somebody on the ship who you are very good friends with jumps up and hops onto the wagon that you are taking back to the rental grounds. As he does so, he gives you a nudge in the shoulder before reminding you who it is, and it is Murren. I remember how to spell his name, right? M-A-R-E-N. Murren. Oh, Murren. Sorry.
The images?
Murren. No, I was trying to remember from notes. Murren is how you say his name.
Ah.
It is Murren. One of your more fun-loving friends. He joined the crew. He's quite a actor of such. You remember he dreams of different things in a calmer life, but he is still a good sailor nonetheless. How'd the fish market go?
Not the best haul, I could say, this time, unfortunately.
I think our haul was pretty good. No? At least 500, right?
I got 490. But unfortunately, that's all they could offer with enough food to feed the crew.
Normally they'll go over prices and give you a little bit more. Are you sure you didn't bargain with them?
I tried, but I could tell something wasn't right. Things are not going well for the shops right now.
I got an idea. And he gives you, like, kind of like a push as he crawls over you and hops off the moving wagon, and makes his way into an open shop. He holds the door open and go, "Come on now."
I park the cart and I walk in with him.
You park up the cart, leaving the horse in, you know, a nice place, and you give it a tie to make sure it won't be that easy to steal. You know, keep it under calmer wraps. As you make your way over to the shop, the door swings open as you make your way into this very, you know, lovely and more interesting shop with a bit of an eerie tune, but it is it's quite fun in here. As you make your way in, you look around and see quite an abundance of stuff scattered all around the wall. And they are trinkets from what you believe could probably be the farthest of locations. Items, some look like weapons, vases, watches, all of these kinds of things are scattered all over this room. You can see paintings, figuratures, major political figures from all over the world are just scattered all over this room. As you make your way in, you watch as Moran kind of just disappears into the winding aisles of this place. As you kind of lose your way for a second, you are welcomed by a voice of a more elderly elvish man. Is there something I can help you with?
Oh, I'm just looking with a friend right now.
Looking with a friend. Looking for a friend or with a friend?
Well, as of now, kind of both.
Kind of both. Treacherous set of questions I believe I might have asked. Well, is there something your friend is looking for? Maybe I can help you and help him at the same time. This elvish man gives you a bit of visual deja vu. You haven't really ever seen this guy before, but to a player this is a bit of further deja vu. His hair is slicked back in a golden kind of like mullet look. While his face still aged, it's giving you kind of a very personal, shocking unsettledness to your character. You can't put your finger on it, but yeah, he looks like quite a guy. Quite a guy indeed. He asks you, is it a trinket you're after, maybe? Perhaps a watch? Or are you looking for what I'm more particularly expertise in, and grab yourself a nice fisherman's bow?
At this point in time, do I have my father's hurdy-gurdy?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not looking for that.
No.
I kind of like scan the aisles again for my friend.
What is your passive perception, unless you would like to take a active perception check?
My passive is 12.
Your passive is 12? Yeah, can't really see him. He seems to have probably either made his way upstairs from this building, or is deep into the back catacombs of these many aisles.
Well, not really sure what I'm looking for, but I'd be happy to see your wares.
Absolutely. Come follow me. As you make your way by, you pass a couple of things that passes a common eye. You see a stained glass painting of a armored figure with no face. You make your way down and see some woven pieces of a white, very pale white-faced person with a big white dog sitting next to them. You see a little ornament hanger of a deer's head. And as you further make your way down, you see a hand that is in the shape of a clutching dragonborn as you make your way down to the front desk. And he leans under the table and he seems to be like trying to pick out a couple of things from the drawers. Feel free to look around. There is a lot of things that you can find here. Any questions that you might have, please feel free to ask.
I'm gonna do an active investigation.
Okay. What are we looking for?
Just anything that really catches my eye. Maybe something that catches the player's eye. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. As you take a look around, keeping a deep search at things and kind of just trying to find something to maybe switch around the subject, you find in a set of a small little casing.
Am I not rolling?
Are you doing passive or active? You said active, didn't you? Roll, please. Yeah. My apologies. I thought
you're good.
We were going passive.
Well, not 20 plus 4.
No way. Yeah, way. You really did it. Wow. Okay.
Wow!
Wow. Alright. One of the major things that catches your eye after looking through all of this is a set of small, almost keychain-sized looking, what at first looks kind of like nails? Like claws, almost. At first of looking at it, and it kind of looks like it's two connected, but they're both like inverted from upside down. So one's facing like this way, the other one's facing back this way. Wait,
Right.
no, one facing
I
this
get what
way.
you're saying.
Yeah. The other one facing back out the other way, and it kind of sits as this small little ornament that's probably about like yay big. That catches your eye. And it's quite an interesting piece. You could see a lot of inspiration to aquatics, to something like this. And that kind of makes you curious.
Where did you happen to procure this one?
Let me see. And he stands back up as he has like a box in his hand. He places it off to the side, and that. Ooh, many a good stories about something like that. Let's see. I had personally made this. It was a branding piece of a old friend of mine. He used to be a part of quite a lovely group. And while he had walked around with this quite a large and sizable object himself, but one of the first times I met him, I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. It was such an original piece. I had tracked it back down after his passing on where he might have gotten it from, and found out that he originally got it from the Dabblekin Triumvirate, which was quite interesting if you knew who he was. And when I had gotten it, I just felt like I needed to make a memorabilia piece. There's a couple of pieces you'll find around here. My own past, used it as a creative sense after most of my life. You'll find some things dedicated to people, some a little bit more obvious than others. For example, one of the ones that I believe is probably most obvious to many is that glass painting in the window right there. That is currently on sale. It's a bit of a hard purchase with its religious background. Many people have come in here who don't know any better, but that's fine. Who are just asking for who the man in the suit of armor is. I tried to tell them that, technically speaking, I don't know. But they don't really seem to believe me and just think that I made a, empty suit of armor. Trust me when I say that I am not the one with that idea. There's somebody a little bit higher than me who made that choice a long time ago. But I have a lot of jewelry, other things, other pieces. He places his hand in between the antlers of the deer head, kind of like necklace ornament. He gives it a bit of a pat. Just many things that I've collected over the time and age. What was I going to show you? Yes! A possible little trinket you might find interesting. And he places it on the table. It's a little bit more expensive. But I think maybe I could work something out with you. You seem to be a reasonable seasonal man. And he places a short bow on the table that has, collapsible insides. So it kind of like folds into probably around your forearm's length.
Yep.
And he says, now this is a piece inspired from long ago. This is a piece that I had been working on for a hard while time.
I know exactly who this is now.
You figured it out?
I figured it out.
You figured it out. Trust me, nobody remembers his name, but we know exactly who I'm talking about.
I know exactly who it is, but I can't remember his name.
Exactly. It's so difficult to say, I'm not gonna lie, so it probably won't even get brought up here. Now this piece itself, I sell for a little bit more of a reasonable price. For me personally, it sits around. I value it at. We'll go with its creative side. I'll give you about 15 pieces of gold.
Excluding the money that I got from the trading the
From the
fish.
trading post, it should be whatever is in your current inventory.
Yes, which I have 59.
Ooh, okay.
So this is what I think it is. It's Willow's wrist.
It is an
weapon for a bow.
inspiration made bigger.
Okay.
So it's not on his wrist. It's not a wrist bow. It is a short bow that has the inspiration from a past character to use to help conceal itself as basically something that could, instead of fit around your side, can more or less fit inside of a larger kind of like satchel or fit on the side of like a backpack.
Thigh pocket or something.
Or a big thigh pocket or something like that. So basically what it is on like a normal bow, if you were to go up probably like, if this is like the midpoint of the bow and it expands outwards, probably like halfway down each side, is a puppet's limb, that's kind of like screwed in, and when you push hard enough on the other two sides, it snaps apart and kind of like folds back in, and then when you stretch it back out, it's gonna feel like restringing a bow. But it was short and sizable short bow. It's what most short bows look like. It's just easier to conceal.
I'm gonna bring out my other fascination as an aquatic character person. Do you have anything maybe shock related?
Shock related. Well, the pin there was inspired by a shock related man. Anything shock related. I'm gonna take this back. I'm gonna see what I can find you.
Alright.
And he goes back down. And he goes and he looks through for a moment. He gives it a bit of a search around. He goes, I can only find ornaments. But if you are looking for weapons or any other type of hunting material, maybe fishing rod of such, maybe for your kind, I sadly do not have anything that might fit that budget exactly. Could you be more specific on possibly a bigger subject that you're looking at here?
I guess in terms of like hunting equipment, what can you find me for around my budget that would be best for hunting for fish off of like big game fish that you
Big
can't
game
catch with a
fish.
normal rod?
Are we talking large or are we talking large fish?
Large
Large
fish,
fish or large
fish.
fish? Large fish.
large fish.
No, large fish.
Not
large-
large, but large.
Large fish.
Large fish.
Large fish.
Large fish.
Okay. He gives you a point, and he goes, "Give me one moment." And he makes his way around and back, and you can see that a blonde elvish woman, who definitely also looks like she's up there in age, she makes her way down the staircase and says, "Oh, that's gonna take him a while. Most likely we'll get nostalgic while he's back there."
Oh.
Do you have any questions about anything while I'm here? It's very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too, miss. I do actually have a question about that tapestry on the wall of the woman and the dog.
Yes.
They look eerily familiar.
Are you a religious man?
I've been down to dabble.
Down to dabble indeed. That up there is the morning sun and her acquaintance, who she had called Guspacho. The name of the morning sun, however, is Lillian. Was also known as the morning sunflower, for what it was worth. Oh, yes, they were very, well, to give you more of a exact history, she was a changeling when the years of Daishi were in their darker years. But she started out life how most of those changelings do, but she changed after time went on. She met Q, and with him joined the light of Solace. And from there, she preached about most of the sun, its light, its radiance to many, and was just a dear to me, at least. We knew another family who was affected greatly by them, but was better affected by one of her good friends named Willow Woodruff. It was another group of traders from... Oh, where were they from, honey? I believe they were from the Gaian Empire when they were still around. Oh, yes. It was 2 humans from the Gaian Empire. They had done work with us for a good while. That's why most of what we have here is actually inspired, if not exampled from them. We tried doing what they did, selling wagons. Oh, that is not for us. I cannot sell a wagon if my life depended on it. You could not get me to sell any wagons. But boy, it was time for many of them. Willow was one of our personal favorites, but not my favorite. I liked Q more than most, but I think that might just be a personal belief. But I could sit here and ramble forever, but you don't want to hear old Granny Health have a full conversation about what she used to do in her past life. What are you up to? What do you do for a day-to-day?
Well, I just recently got back on a fishing escapade that lasted since last September.
So you've been out by water for quite a while.
Most of my life, in fact.
Where do you, where's a good fishing region for you? Do you go down to the South Empire?
I'd have to say, as of recently, my favorite place to fish would be around... What are the islands called again?
The Narok Islands.
The Narok Islands.
I hear a lot of people moving down there. Is it as profitable as many pursue?
There are many a good... Mostly brothels, actually.
I see. You know, I have heard that too. I don't believe that you're necessarily wrong, but you know, maybe there are other things other than that. But maybe that is so.
I wasn't in town for long.
If you went to the Narok Islands, have you been to the United Republic anytime recently?
I may have fished near the coast, but never on land.
Never on land. Okay, not very men on boat. Very men on boat. Okay, I very much so understand that. Well, I do wish you the best. We ourselves are going on a little adventure to go see another good friend of ours from quite long ago. First time we will be seeing him in 30 years. He has quite have made a bit of himself. But he is going through what a few things a father maybe needs some help with. And with his recent location, well, I believe that maybe he could use some company from old friends. So we are going down to meet him. And I believe your harpoon is on its way up. And you watch as he carries this huge kind of very wrapped up in like leather tarp, I guess you could say. As he takes it, he lays it down on the table as you hear kind of a crunch of iron kind of rattle against itself as he places it down. All right. Or how do you say it? Is it that? Am I doing it right? Was it like
I don't know, is there a hand signal for fucking pirates?
Not necessarily, but I just wanted to
How does your youngins do it back in your day?
I believe I am hooking you up, as some would say.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. On the terms of a harpoon. Yeah?
R.
R? I guess?
We'll go with that.
Give me a yo-ho. I'm gonna leave it at that. I think we're done there. I think
we'll leave it there.
I think I won't go any further than that. And he places it down, and it is a harpoon-based crossbow. Or a crossbow-based harpoon, if that makes sense. He says, this is in my very, very big evolution of many of the things I choose to adapt to anything with a string and that launches things, if you can't already tell. But similar to how a crossbow bolt would work on this, we have sized it up a little bit. And with a rope connected, it can shoot a harpoon about 3 times longer than the average human, or halfling, or gnome, or dwarf, or for some elves, but as we are very dexterous, it's about 1.5 times the length of the average Goliath or half-orc. So, in my personal opinion, I believe I've made a breakthrough. It is very good at piercing skin. But that does rely on the bolt itself being finited. If you put maybe anywhere between 20 to 30 uses on a single bolt, it might be time to either get it repaired or weldstone, as the metal on the end of it, as you can see here, is very sharp, but because of that, it can become very dull at times. And as much as you can reel these in, and it reduces the lack of losing these to the bottom of the ocean, like many of us do, it does make it easier to retrieve them. So, this one is a little bit more expensive. It is within your budget, but it is still on the high side of your budget. It is 40 in gold.
I kind of pick it up, and I start examining it. Look down sight, check the weight, the balance point,
Mm-hmm.
and then I set it down on the table, and through a furrowed brow, like as if I'm very angry at what he just told me, a smirk appears, and I say, I'll take it.
That sounds very good to me. I will make sure to get it packed up, and I will give you 5 of my custom bolts, just included, just for you, my good friend. Because you had a fun conversation with me, and I greatly enjoy that. So, I will go get this packed up, and I will be try to be quiet about it, but as of many years past, I haven't been quiet enough. So, let me take care of this with you. Sweetheart, please help me out if you don't mind. And they go to both help each other, as your friend Murray,
I said it was 40.
Murray.
Murray.
In a very, I spelled his name very interesting, just for it to be basically Murray.
Murray.
Just for it to be spelled Murray, just for it to sound like Murray, it's spelled, if I have this correct, Maren. M-A-R-E-N. Maren, I guess. Maren slips up next to you. giving you kind of like a shoulder tap, and he goes, "I found something interesting. What did you find?"
I kind of point at the elf that's wrapping up the harpoon gun, and I said, I got a new weapon for fishing.
Maybe you can actually haul something that'll give us money.
I kind of bat him on the back of the head real quick.
All right, I understand that most of it's on me. I wasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's 11 javelins this season. But in my personal opinion, not my fault. Captain can't steer the boat correctly. But I'll leave it at that. That I will. I won't say anything further. I promise to keep my mouth shut. In the meantime, and he goes and he opens up this wooden box that's roughly about like the size of his hand. He opens it up and you see a very colorful looking necklace that the innards of it look like a kind of like a shield almost. And there's glass centered in the middle that is completely see-through from side to side. And there's ornaments decorating the outside of it, engravings and carvings to kind of like accentuate the look of this necklace. And he goes, I personally found it for a pretty good price. 2 gold pieces, which for a trinket like this, in my personal opinion, I think makes a better gift than not.
Gift?
Gift?
Gift whom for?
I think you'll find out. But in the meantime, I think we have to pay for our stuff. And as he says that, the 2 elves come back and they get you kind of like all ringed up, ready to go, and as they kind of like pack you up, help you get stuff out, give you kind of like a wave, some extra bolts. What at this point, is going through your mind? You did buy a new thing that you're hoping to increase, payment come next season. But one thing that I will remind you is that that money is low. And it is going to be a pretty difficult winter, because to really break it even after all of the spending, the at least around 510 was kind of that break even point from what was kind of like seen in the data. The 510 was the break even point, and it didn't really seem like that was viable. But that was between everybody giving cuts out. So after what the halfling said and kind of like everything that went through, what would you say is going through your mind right now?
I think I'm kind of hatching a plan right now in my head, scheming,
skim-skirring, trying to figure a thing out,
brewing a little thing in my head of how we can get out of this situation to either break even, or even better, get more with this new weapon of mine.
Ooh, now that is a pretty viable thought. Okay. I see where you're getting at with that. Other than that, what is going through your in a further sense, what is going through your character's mind right now? Do you feel guilty that wasn't enough?
I do. I feel like my character would feel very like almost like he failed his crew. You know what I mean? Like the whole crew pulled everything that they could, did everything right, did everything that they could do to get as much as we could. But I, as the seller, did not come through with what was promised.
Okay. So, do you feel like that in that case, that selling like endpoint is on you more than anybody else?
I do feel like me being like, because I feel like I could have gotten more money, but if I had gotten more money, then unfortunately my crew wouldn't have been able to eat, because they wouldn't have gotten any food from
That's
the
also a fair
cuts.
point to look at that with. So it's the
So I
money.
feel like I took kind of the better of two evils. I got us food, I got the crew food, and I also got as much as I physically could from selling.
Okay, I get what you're getting at there. Okay. Um, you hop out. You make your way back up onto the horse now. As you're making your way back through the city. That feeling kind of circles your mind, kind of like lingers for a good while. Um, and it kind of like settles. You can see as, you know, Marine is sitting there over in the corner. He seems to be, you know, tickling with something. And he goes, this is, alright, close your eyes. I'll drive.
But
Close your eyes. I'll drive.
okay.
And he places a piece of kind of like parchment paper is what it feels like at first. And he's like, all right, it's up to you when you open them. Up to you when you open them.
I open and I start reading, or I look at whatever's in my hand.
It is what looks to be a present tied up with like Tyndall wire. Not Tyndall rope. And you can see that it's kind of like, it's not like really tied up. You can see that it's kind of just like one bridge loop to the middle around something that fits kind of like the open hand. And he's like, I bet you have no idea what it is.
I kind of look at it and I kind of slow side eye look at him and go, I can't imagine.
Not a thought. You should open them though, that way you can figure out what it is.
Maybe I should start very slowly opening it as I stare at him.
I wonder what this possibly could be. And as you slide it open, you know, you see the same wooden box. And he goes, surprise! Happy birthday? New Year's?
It's not my birthday. It's not the new year. Happy!
Happiness! How about that? I'm gonna just leave it under happiness. Okay, we'll put it under that. No, I just thought, you know, I got a little bit more than, you know, I normally get. And I'm quite a budgeting person. I know what I have. I know what I want, you know. And the amount of money, you know, by the 3 gold pieces that I had that was technically over the budget, you know, that I had from last year, I thought about getting you a little bit something special, so that way you don't personally feel bad for, you know, everything. Because remind you, it's not your fault. If it's the market, if it's what we need to grab, you know, it is on all of us for not checking, helping you out. You know, we can't leave you to do everything, you know. But one of the things I did kind of over here while we were in there is, well, you don't really get out. You're on the boat, like, almost always. I'm even surprised you go home and you don't sleep on the boat. A couple of the crewmates even say that you probably sleep in a hammock on the poop deck. That, or you just roll out a bag or a sweater you decide to put out there. So,
first time.
You know, we kind of do feel for you, me a little bit more, but I personally think that you need to approach life a little bit differently. Be a little bit more welcome to outsiders. You know, you're not that outside of a person. You know, you are extraordinary, I will say, from a friend's perspective. But, you know, like the halfling, you know, he's pretty out there, but you can be out there too. I know you've had the conversation, you have a hurdy-gurdy, you know, you're one to jam out on the deck, so, you know, I just don't understand why you can't do that with other people.
I really see no point when it comes to making money and being able to provide. The ocean's all I have.
I don't know. In my personal opinion, you know this about me. I don't want to spend my entire life out at sea. It doesn't mean I don't enjoy being out there with you guys, but I feel like there's a little bit more to do with life than wasted away in the middle of nowhere. There's people to meet. There's a world to see. You gotta see some of it. You gotta go find something, you know? Adventure is one of the most inevitable things that we have found. And you found the adventure at the sea, but there's a feeling that you've might have completed that quest already. You know, you've made friends at sea. Most of us still live here in Nosted, so we're not going to be forever away from each other if you just choose to return, or you go live your own life and, you know, move to one of the one of the other parts of the world, you know? The Dalbekin Triumvirate has to open up, you know? They're trying to, I guess. People say the Dominion of the Bree is pretty cool, very sunny, very hot, very sweaty, very musky. I don't think you would probably want to move there, actually. You're not one for that. Worgen is good. I wouldn't probably move to the Julius. Reburn is great culture. You know, there's just places around the world that I think that maybe you should give a shot. I just want you to explore it. That's all I want to say. And hopefully that piece, that, you know, wonderful little piece of jewelry that I found helps you feel more encouraged to go out there. It's something to talk about, you know? You can have that and be like, you know, if somebody brings it up in a conversation while you're in a bar or something, you can make a conversation out of it and at least remember the old times you've had at sea. But, you know, not still have to live it, you know?
You make an excellent point, my friend. An excellent point.
As he smiles and kind of like walks the ride along, all of a sudden something catches your ear. Give me a perception check.
Active?
Yeah.
Perception. Perception.
We're really searching out here. It's like we're playing it with Willow.
21.
21? That ain't nice. Not that hard to spot
21.
that. You look up as you hear kind of like very quick moving, like tick, 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 as it's making its way across what you would have originally just assumed it's somebody with, you know, very tactile shoes making their way down the street. As you look towards kind of like all around for just a moment, as it sounds like these ticks are getting closer, and then eventually you hear something crash onto the empty carts in the back of the wagon.
The back of my wagon?
Yeah.
Well, I screech the horse to a stop, and I stand up and turn around.
As you stand up and turn around, you hear, as you can kind of see somebody like move around in the wood as it kind of like trickles and like falls down into like the gap. You can see that the tarp covering that, you know, this big white tarp that Rowan had put on starts getting like pulled to the end of the wagon before you watch as what seemingly looks like a body fall out of the wagon and onto the stone ground as it's just moaning and groaning.
I hop off and I rush towards the body, get down on one and like get next to him.
As you make your way over and like hopping off, you see like Moran kind of like grabs the horse reins from you and like stands up on the seat to try to see if he can see like over the open top wagon and like see what you might be looking at. As you make your way around the corner, however, you see a orange tail weave out from this tarp. Kind of like a rising snake, and then it kind of like, as it makes its way up, it points to you, almost like it was looking at you for a second.
Like a telescope.
Like a telescope. And it looks around for just a moment. In the distance, you hear people shouting. It sounds like the local Nostid guards. You know, people of the royal capital are making their way at a quite quick pace down the road. You hear it as the tarp immediately like stands up and like falls down off of the back. And from legs up description, as this figure kind of like moves to turn, you see but at first you see a pair of cat feet. As it makes your way up, you see blue pants, very like long, kind of like sailor pants, but they are quite styled. It looks like officer's pants from the experience that you've had. As you continue to make your way up his body, you see that he wears a reddish maroon sash with a large gold emblem kind of like curved around his hip, as he turns to you with white fluffed out arm sleeves, and a blue vest with a very like opened out collar, as he turns to you, and says, he looks at you for a quick moment, looks back towards the guards making his way towards, and goes, shit, and then proceeds to make a booking down the road towards towards the north, towards one of the bridges of Nostid that go over the open canal that they have, but towards the bridges towards Nostid, as you are soon approached by very armored individuals with pikes and spears, as they look back and forth and ask you, where did he go?
So, can I get a look at the city?
With a quick span of the city,
No, I mean like physically on the stream.
Oh, yes, of course.
And then just point out where I am and where he went.
So, you right now, if this is South Docks, you're currently roughly around, you're at this road here. You're around, like, this road area here. Let me see if I can't zoom in. So, if this is Grant, this is Bridget, you're roughly around here at the moment. And you're going to make your way back to the South Docks here. So, he's heading in this direction.
Right. Then, okay, so he's heading in that direction.
Yes,
Which way am I heading?
You're standing, to give you like a more exact description of what you're in, you stand at this kind of like corridor space here. Not corridor, crossroads.
But I crossroad, okay.
Crossroad space here. The noise came from this direction, and he probably dropped, since he had an angle, dropped off of these buildings here, hit your wagon, and started heading this way.
Started heading that way?
Yeah, sorry, started heading southbound.
Okay. And I'm trying to go right towards the docks.
Yeah, you're heading eastbound.
Okay. Then as the guard walks up and I see the destruction that was just
done to the wagon
on my fucking
onto
the wagon that we had rented. He went that way.
And you're pointing southbound?
Or
westbound?
Westbound.
Okay. They immediately let me give me a deception check.
Okay. Okay. Mm. Six.
A 6?
A 6.
They say as they pause in front of you, um, uh, give me an advantage. Because if Marie sees you doing this, I think he's going to follow with your thing. So roll again,
Okay.
and we'll go with the higher one.
His help, he really helped. 21.
Yeah, Murray's a pretty confident person. You always listen to the deckhand. Always listen to the deckhand. That dude knows what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't listen to like one of like the second in the hands. Nah, we don't need his help. The deckhand though, that guy knows what he's talking about. You don't even know you're east from west at that point. With that, you just pointed in a direction. You pointed towards a building for some reason.
He went into that shop.
He went into that shop there. What do you mean? That shop doesn't have doors. You enter it from underground from the back. Yeah. Okay. They turn and they don't believe you, and they say, no, you hear Murray go, no, really, he went that way, trust. And he goes, you hear the guards go, come on, men, and they make their way down, towards the end of the road, as they kind of like sprint in the wrong direction, as that is where you've led them. And I'm going to encourage you on something, however, because remember, your actions affect the story.
Infect the story.
That is a very effective move. You're going to see that at one point or another. I'll tell you what, but you'll be able to tell. As you do so,
I know exactly why I did it.
Marine goes, are we good? Are we in trouble? I mean, the damage is not that bad. I think it's like a plank of wood, so maybe a couple pieces of bronze might need to be spared. But are we going to have rental damage for this?
And once we get there, we'll leave a gold piece on the seat.
Okay, that should definitely be enough to get it repaired. He goes over and helps you with kind of like the boxes and pick up the tarp that stumbled out. And I'm assuming you kind of like pick up the stuff that's there.
Mm-hmm.
As you go,
actually, I would like to roll an investigation. I want to see if he left anything behind from that fall.
Ooh, very good. Okay, give me a active investigation then.
Alrighty. 22.
22. You say
I'm rolling a lot of 20s today.
I know. Everyone's got high rolls in this campaign. With your new roll, let me make sure that I have this for you. With your new roll, immediately as you swipe up the damage and you grab the tarp bit, the cover for all of it, you spot something that you are quite familiar with the look of, but it's a little bit messed up and consists of water damage. But you know what this looks like.
Real quick, because I'm updating my inventory. What was it that Moran got me?
Moran got you the necklace.
The necklace?
Yeah, the vial necklace.
Vial necklace. Okay. Got it.
Alright. As you rip away the tarp, you see something on the ground that has taken a load of water damage and has been ripped to almost pieces. But the name on the outside with your investigation throw gives you a very good idea what this is. And it is the Northern Bestiary number 5. The new one that the halfling was just talking about. Somehow, this tabaxi had it on him.
So this is like an insert from a from the
This is an
bestiary.
insert from the bestiary that has been handwritten and what looks to be copied to you. But it's some form of like everything that's on this piece is from the bestiary. Like it's
The
proportioned like the
Velfin laminar?
bestiary is. What'd you say?
The Velfin laminar?
No, 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 no,
Lanitor?
no, 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 no,
A different one.
no, 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 no. I'm sending you a different page, but it's not
Oh,
loading.
okay.
As you pick it up, you're immediately being able to identify, like I said before, that this is from the Bestiary series. It's copied the same way.
Oh,
It's
is this the person?
Is this the what person?
The picture you sent me, is that the guy that I
That
just saw on the
was the one
right?
that just fell on and destroyed your thing. Yeah,
Okay,
you'll need that
got
for
it.
later. Um, but what you pick up, like I said before, you know word for word. This is from the Bestiary.
Mm-hmm.
This is copied way for way. It's not from on the terms that it was printed from the bestiary, but
The like handwritten
it was
copy
like
from the
handwritten
bestiary.
copy from the bestiary that immediately in most hands you would just assume that this is probably just a rough copy, but from what it's worth, this seems to be definitely like as 1-to-1 as possible. And it is, well, it looks like this. And I will let you take a read to yourself if you want to read it out loud for others who might be, listening in the video. As you
Okay.
take a deep look into
Oh,
visualization.
okay. Okay, let me get a look at the visualization. Where'd you send?
Of the fish. I'll get you that for a second, but give yourself your own
Yep.
personal read first.
I'm reading. Common names: Worgen bullfish, break scale giant. Classification: abyssal coastal marco predator, or macro predator.
Mm-hmm.
Average length 55 to 70 feet. Fire! Known range: the cold depths and iron shoals of Worgen. The stoneback marlfin is the largest true fish native to the waters of Worgen and one of the few creatures universally acknowledged by Worgen sailors as not a monster, but a force of nature. Its body is massive and wedge-shaped, built for power rather than speed, with a broad skull and a thick spinal ridge, plated in stone-like osteoderm scales. These scales are molted gray and rust red, often encrusted with mineral deposits scraped from the seabed, giving the creature the appearance of a moving reef or a submerged cliff face. The Morrowfin's most distinctive feature is the namesake stoneback, a raised dorsal ridge composed of fused bone plates that harden over time. Older individuals develop ridges so dense they can deflect harpoons and crack the bows of poorly built ships. Along its flanks run deep grooves housing sensory organs that detect vibration and pressure changes, allowing the Morrowfin to feel approaching storms, migrating schools, naval movements from miles away. Despite its size, the stoneback Morrowfin is not an indiscriminate hunter. It is a selective apex predator, feeding primarily on other large fish, armored crustaceans, and the carcasses of sea beasts slain by storms or greater leviathans. Its jaws are wide but blunt, filled with thick, crushing teeth designed to shatter bone and shell rather than slice flesh. Feeding events are brief and violent. The Morrowfin strikes once, crushes its prey, and retreats to deeper water to digest for days or even weeks. Behaviorally, the species is solitary and intensely territorial. Each adult claims a stretch of seabed or shoal, that may span dozens of miles. Intrusions by other marlfins result in titanic clashes that leave the sea choked with blood and broken scales. These battles are rare but legendary. The Worgen fishermen treat the aftermath as sacred waters, refusing to fish there for a full season. Reproduction occurs only once or twice in a marlfin's life. During rare convergence years, adults migrate into the iron shoals and release vast, heavy eggs that sink and lodge into rock crevasses. The young hatch already several feet long and spend their first decade feeding exclusively on deep water invertebrates. Survival rates are low. Those that reach adulthood may live for centuries. Culturally, the stoneback marlfins hold immense significance in Worgen. Its scales are never harvested from living specimens, but naturally shed plates are collected and forged into ceremonial armor for high-ranking captains and coastal wardens. To kill a marlfin without dire necessity is considered a blasphemy against the sea itself. Worgen sailors say that when stoneback surfaces during a storm, it's not fleeing the sea, it is steadying it. Interesting. This gives me
Interesting.
an even bigger brood idea. What do you look like? Oh, you look sick. Kind of reminds me of a fucking Dunkleosteus if it had the face of a cat.
Really? I wonder where the possible inspiration of this fantasy fish may have come from. Anyways, what is your...
That's crazy.
Kind of. What is your thought process here?
My thought process is, man, we need to make some extra money in order to break even. This sounds like a perfect fucking opportunity to go catch one and sell it off to the highest bidder.
This could...
And what a catch this would be to have a physical one under my nameplate.
I was about to say, this is a significant trophy fish right here. It seems like some have been caught before, couple dozen, but this is not, your classic reef fish that you're catching in nets. This will bring you guys back to what you originally wanted this group to hunt for, and that was these river monster-like creatures that were insanely sized. I mean, this one spans 55 to 70 feet. I mean, that is no small fish.
That is no small fish.
It might be a thing or two to get it on the boat, but it might be worth an entire boat.
We'll have enough people.
I think, yeah, your 32 should cover it if that's what you believe in.
Oh, yeah.
Classification, Abyssal Coast, and reading this, sorry, I forgot to say this. Reading this kind of like over your shoulder as Marine, he kind of like leans over and takes a look. Abyssal Coast? Isn't that between the what was it? The far eastern rock coves between Worgen and wherever Skylobia was supposed to be, according to the old maps?
That sounds actually exactly where it would be. This gives me an idea.
But this is cold deeps of the Iron Shoals of Worgen. I mean, the Iron Shoals are only in season, like, now. So we'd have to wait until probably, next November?
They're not in season right now?
No, they are currently in season now, but he's saying since he believes that we're done, we'd have to wait until next November to take a shot at it.
I look down at my brand newly acquired harpoon gun, and I look back at the page, and I kind of go back and forth, and then light bulb. I said, Marine, we need to do this. If we can capture one of these fish, we'll be set for the entire winter. Hell, Probably even after. We'll have plenty left over. Do you understand what this means?
Is it a good idea?
I think so. I think this is an absolutely amazing idea. Imagine what the captain would say if we came back with this fish. We have to bring this news to the captain.
I will do it under one condition. And I will back you completely. Under one condition.
Let's hear it.
We go back to the captain. We tell him all about this fish. Okay? We catch this fish. If we are so deemed by the gods above, we catch this fish. Alright? Let's say we catch this fish. You bring it back. We all sell it with you. And you take 2 years of vacation. And you go all around the world. Spend as much money as you possibly can with a catch like this. Especially in Nosted. Because if we were to sell this in Morgan, we'd probably be in a lot of shit. Okay? So in Nosted, this probably goes for a whole bunch. Okay? So I will make the deal if you promise to take a break after this. This is it. Do you understand? This is it. One last catch for a good while. Because this will be the biggest thing in your collection.
You know, I have always wanted to venture the triumvirate.
So we have a deal? And you put your hands together and give it a good shake. And he goes, 2 years. Not 2 months. Not 2 weeks. Not 2 days. 2 years.
Yes, 2 years.
You are more than welcome to use a boat and, fish off the side of the boat with a fishing rod. Nothing bigger. No big weapons, okay? But you are to do it.
New harpoon. But the harpoon.
I just got it. I must make my money's worth. I need to, but I haven't even broken it in yet. All right. Deal. I got your back when we go to the captain. Let's go. Come on. Let's get the wagon back. I'm sick of this thing just sitting here. I feel broken. It feels weird. I feel like people are staring at us. I don't like it. And he goes and he helps you pack up the stuff, and you make your way back to the captain, and to the dock area.
The captain, Zach Argo.
No. Oh, that's crazy. You make your way back to the captain. He is a more, kind of like a little bit taller than you. Very long bearded individual. He likes his black beard. Not Blackbeard, but he likes his black beard. As you make your way back,
No relation.
he goes, "Aye, back to home, I presume. Daytime off the boat for a good long couple of months." And he turns back to everybody behind, and they all kind of give it a cheer, and is like, "Hey," they're quite happy for it. "So what do you have? What news do you bring on our sail? Our mighty hole off of the middle of the open seas, men. Let's see what the numbers are."
Kind of look over at Murray. I can't remember. Murray. Murray. Murray.
Marine tells you, he goes, "I said I'd back you, but I'm not doing the hard work for you. Okay, so you picked your job, so I'm going to leave you to that."
I hold up the sack of coins that I got from selling the fish, and I set it on the table in front of him. Unfortunately, this is all they could offer.
You see him go and reach over as Rowan comes closer. That's it. And they search through the bag, and he kind of trickles through and gives an estimate. 500 isn't even in there. We didn't even break even this season. We were supposed to be 90 over.
I pull out my personal satchel. And on the pile of coins that have been laid out, I dump the rest of my winning, the rest of the money that I have accrued over. So 19 gold. And which leaves us one away from breaking even.
What's this?
I feel as though I have failed you, Captain. And to make up for it, I will turn over my earnings in order to break even. This is my fault that I wasn't able to haggle as much as I would like, but the shops would not allow it. I've given us all... I've gotten as much coin as I could from the sale, and I've procured enough meat, or enough fish, to be given to everybody evenly, with enough food for about a week. That's all I could get.
So Rowan kind of like turns around and goes, so we all just go home now? Marine goes, well,
I have something else that I think could be of use to our endeavor. And I take the paper and I slam it on the table, spin it, and slide it towards the captain.
The captain like slams his fist down on it and he goes, I don't want any silly adventure for treasure hunting.
This is no normal treasure, sir. This could be the hunt that we've been searching for.
You watch as his head kind of like darts down like a raven, and he looks at it, and you watch like a couple of them kind of like give it a read over. You want to put this off for next season?
No. They're in season now. We could do this now. Imagine if we brought this back. The amount of gold and meat we could get from just one of these creatures would be able to push us well over our even point and have all of us fed for well through the winter. This could be a chance.
You don't have to convince me. I got nothing better to do. And you watch the rest of everybody else like shoot up in sounds, you know? Just promise me we'll make good time when we get out there. But I'm warning you, I don't do good in the cold. You watch as everybody is very eager to hop back on ship. You know, this is home for a lot of people. So one more short adventure for something genuinely worth catching is something that doesn't take these guys much of a push to try to get them to do. You watch many of them roll their sleeves up, hoist the sails up and down, and get everything ready to leave. As the captain goes, we park up for an hour. We leave now, for the most part. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not gonna lie. Reminds me of home. I hate home.
I hate home.
It reminds me of home. I hate home.
Especially my wife.
Especially my wife. I cannot stand that woman, you know. Sometimes it feels like I'm dating a sea creature. Happened better, by the way, be listening to cracking noises. Ugh. Woo! Anyways. You watch as they give the signal to wrap everything up and get ready to leave, as many of the people are often sailing up. It's back with family. No breaks. No need for emotional worries. It is upright, up center, and we are all leaving, heading northbound to Worgen. There is just no better place to be than on a boat, and the travel goes by quite swimmingly. You guys take a break for a little while, from place to place, getting yourself some things for your adventure, taking breaks on some of the small islands that you find, some Morgan territory, and other things like that. You make your way up, and after about a week or two, you find yourself approaching the area, that Marine has had your back for a good long while. Rowan's there for you. And it's been joyous, when the mood has got us all down with the cold, you know how to get those bloody fingers working again for the
Can I provide hype music?
for your good old hype music and getting everybody back into the feel of
hurdy-gurdy.
things with the hurdy-gurdy.
I
Eventually,
want to just start playing Bunsen Bill on the hurdy-gurdy.
I get where you're getting with that. Okay. As you make your way out and down, you make your way out into the middle of the ocean, where this fish is supposed to be seen. Give me a perception check, please.
A perception.
Mm.
Okie dokie. I'm gonna select and copy that so I don't have to keep typing it in. Plus. Bada boom. Damn, an 8.
An 8.
An 8.
You look out into the open sea, and you watch as a small, what seems to be kind of like a trickling snowstorm for a time like this, finds its way over the horizon that you are kind of making your way sailing into. The waves rise a little bit, kind of just enough to rock things back and forth, but nothing to really feel that it's dangerous. The waves only grow a little bit in size, and you have a ship well off enough that a simple wave break won't affect it. A rowboat could survive waves like this, so your boat, as a fisherman's boat, and especially in the ice now, is going to be okay. As you move your way, breaking through pieces of ice that have kind of lingered off of the coastline of the January weather, you spot in the distance what seemingly looks like that fin that you had read about. You get the attention of the crew members, but one of the things that kind of lets you down is it was at a distance, and it's kind of that foggy snow weather, and you never really had a good idea of what the actual size of this creature is, especially the fact that you've never seen it. As you approach the area of where you had seen that fin rise from, a noise rings in your ear. Your crew turns as they all look to each other on what that was. A howl comes from below as you can watch even these rippling waves sound as if they have awakened themselves.
I prepare my harpoon gun.
You make your way over as your harpoon gun becomes equipped in your hands. But the presence is not from the fish you think it is. And the sound is haunting. Immediately, a creature springs out from the water, splitting a small piece of ice as it rises into the clouds. And we're going to take a break. The ship rides up to the dock as you watch a crew throw their ropes over the side, helping anchor it down to a relatively cloudy day, but no rain. It has been around 3 months just to get to here. And life has changed a lot. The door is knocked on by one of the sailors. It says, "Hey! This is your stop. We won't take you any further. Have fun at the island's capital." He gives you a laugh as he leaves you be, and that guilty feeling of waking up to a crew member's voice, but it's not your crew. It is the sound of a traveling crew that helped you get from Morgan to here. It has been a very dreaded days at sea. Months have gone past since you had looked for the fish, and no success any further. And after the incident with the Leviathan, it hasn't breached any better result than what it left you with a long time ago. As months have passed, the emotions still run through your head and feel like they will never leave it. Life has changed a lot, and nothing feels like it can be a vacation anymore. Speaking of all of that changing, before you were a local human of Nosted. You're calm, you're collected, you knew how to do your job. You sailed around looking for beasts of the sea. You spent quite a while doing it with Dad until you were able to retire him and make your own living doing this for a while. But life has now changed for what will feel like now forever. Describe the changes that have happened to your character.
Well, I got myself a new hat.
We did.
I got myself a new hat.
Wonder if it came from Grant.
So, my form, while physical attributes were not changed all too much, I'm still just as tall, weigh just about the same. My appearance is much different.
Much different.
I have my hands have gone from normal 5-fingered hands to now 4-fingered hands. My facial appearance, while not changed too drastically, I am a much different color than beforehand. My ears have been misshapen to resemble the fins of a fish. I have scars lining the side of my face, the bridge of my nose, all down my neck, being cut off by my garments that you won't be able to see unless a shirtless moment pops up. Which it might right now.
So are you doing anything to put on clothes, I'm assuming? That's the
Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah.
I hope that you're not going out in public if that's the shirtless moment you're hoping that pops up. Hope you don't remove more clothing.
I'm currently getting dressed.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the difference in what I imagine is camera angle of showing off the villain, where it shows him putting his arm through a jacket and it shows all the scars all over his body. As the jacket comes up over his shoulders, you can see the scars across his back and across his shoulders and chest. His eyes have now changed from a beautiful or I'd say as a human he had brown eyes. Then I'd say they changed from a brownish eye color to almost demonic black with cyan irises, showing nothing but just anger. I'm just like complete angst. New jewelry on my ears and face. I don't, and just my entire demeanor has just completely shifted, complete opposite of what it was before.
As you make your way to the top, you watch as some people move crates, but the eyes feel like they only linger looking at you. From, side to side, it feels like everywhere you look, it's the eerie feeling of somebody is staring at you and watching you and looking on in disgust.
How is my like my hurdy-gurdy, my harpoon gun, and my do I still have the harpoon gun, or did that get lost?
Harpoon gun got lost. The hurdy-gurdy is partially damaged, but you've spent a lot of time repairing it.
And my
attempts
anchor
to make it back. The anchor, however, that you have with you.
I would assume it would be posted over my back as if it were as a great axe would be, and the hurdy-gurdy would be around my shoulder as like a satchel.
Yeah, so one front, one back.
Mm-hmm. And then my belongings, I would have hooked in a sack that I just kind of lop over my shoulder and walk around with it as I just walk through town.
You make your way off of the, onto the dock.
Ooh,
as it creeps.
From that time skip, have I gained any money?
No.
No? Okay, so I'm still broke. Gotcha.
You used what you could to get back here. The necklace
Gotcha.
is a haunting symbol for two things now, rather than the stories that it now reminds you of, but now the situation that it has put you in. For a tropical area and new colony, Dom Tech feels dark right now. And it's not because that it either is or everybody else is in a mood. Life feels daunting. Your anchor feels as if you are tugging along lives behind you. Every step feels like a step that could be taken with others, but you are walking for a group of 31 as only one. The anchor on your back sets as a reminder to yourself as what you believe is to be a more permanent punishment that you bring along with you, but you have still, after the very past months, are not past it. The major incident happened January 18th of 1412, and after 3 months we find ourselves at the docks of Dom Tech in about early April now. It is just soaking up the heat. That just makes everything feel musky and almost kind of like sticky and stiff and sweaty and just not fun to be around. As you make your way down into kind of like the city corners, you watch as a lot of the people who are there are taking what it starts off as quick looks but turn into long examinations as you try to keep to yourself. As you make your way through, what is your thought process before you try to find out where the necklace truly came from? You remember that Marine told you that the originated from this location, when you were out on the boat. It originated from the Narak Islands. And for right now, you are searching for answers because the vial that you have with you changed your life on levels that you didn't want it to. You were in a very low place, and with the only blood you managed to draw from that creature, you thought it would do worse to you when given to you, and instead it has turned you into what most people you believe would assume is a monster. Where would be somewhere that you would at least want to take a second to maybe have clear mind, as the boat felt as if it was a haunting source of aggression?
So like a place for me to go and just kind of chill by myself for like a hot second before I go looking.
Yeah, somewhere that you would feel like just clears the mind.
I'd find where on the docks did I just come in?
So on the docks, you had just arrived. You had arrived on this part here. Kind of like making your way here. This is where more of the traveling ships come in. Most of the sailing ships or fisher ships kind of like land over here. So you kind of like landed in this set of 3 docks right here, and you're on this far edge dock.
Alright. Then I would like to head kind of right, walking the coast, walking the shore, right of the docks, till I get to like a point where I know no one would be within earshot.
As you make your way down the port, one leg stuck it out in front of the other, you find yourself down by a small corner of a very long, like, house-like tavern, basically making your way off to the side of it, where it doesn't really seem like a lot of this Trader's Island consists of anyone who would deem to care.
Alright. And while I'm down there, and I'm assuming I have all my spells.
Yes. You have ventured over now.
Okay, then I would like to bring out where? Okay, okay, yeah. Because I'm level 3, so I can, yeah, I would like to bring out my hunting hound, Rye. And just kinda Rye, as a person, for a personality for Rye, Rye's like your classic fucking Doberman sweetheart doggy.
Okay. Kind of, okay, a little bit more serious than Guzpacho from Campaign 1. But it's kind of similar aspects. Okay. Okay, I can work with this. As you kind of like kneel down, you place your bag off to the side, and kind of like in the misted spirit, you watch as kind of like a greenish emerald mist comes from your bag and like makes its way out. As you can see kind of like a shadow first come to form out of the mist before you see your good pal staring in the wrong direction. You hear him give a little bit of a shake off, as his body kind of like flaps as he turns to you and gives you kind of like a a heads-up smile with only the slightest of tilts before walking towards you and going down from all three to kind of like laying in front of you and laying at your feet. You can tell you we're not in the mood right now, but company is still needed.
And I would then like to pull out my hurdy-gurdy.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm in a spot where no one can see or hear,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to play a tune.
Okay. I
If you
don't
would.
know. I have a non version of a hurdy-gurdy.
Mhm.
But my main worry would be whether or not, copyright.
I don't think this is.
Okay, in that case, I'll have it up. Go ahead.
We also don't have to listen to the whole thing.
Yep, all up to you.
All right. Prepared?
I am prepared, and I believe your dog is prepared as well.
Yes. And as this song is going, by the way, this the only spell that is able to be cast with this specific item, and it's also how I used to hype up the crew, is I can summon ghostly apparitions. You know, I told you about that.
Ah, yes.
Now with this hurdy-gurdy, because I don't know how you want to write it in, whether it had to do with my grief or some way my mental state has affected the magic of the hurdy-gurdy. Now it only summons the apparitions of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the somber song that plays. And you can tell me to cut it whenever.
Up to you. Whenever you feel like that would be kind of like a spot to zone out. As you finish up the song, you hear a coin bounce off of the end of your hurdy-gurdy from a passerby, and it is a man is a human. He's dressed in full white down to his toes. It's definitely very wealthy, and he says, "Go find yourself a drink." And he thinks that, you're playing for music. And as soon as he says that, you hear kind of like a whoosh, kind of like sitting next to you, in your ear, and you can tell that it is Rowan. And he kind of like sits somewhat over top of you, as he leans down and says, "How's the dog?"
Been trying to keep him as happy as I can. I'll find out what goes on.
I'd ask why here, but Moran says he can't tell you. It's for you to figure out. So, just like last time, I'll leave you to it. And you hear his voice kind of like whoosh away. As the sounds of like everything feels as almost like it's drowned out a little bit by the final words that he has. A gold piece sits on the ground next to you as you see that your friend gives it a nudge and kind of like sits down. Hey,
Kind of kneel in front of him. I pat his head, give him a little scratch on the cheek, and then I pick up the coin and throw my sack back over my shoulder.
well, there's a bar. If that will help. It's bound to
I think
do
that's
something.
a wonderful place to go.
I was gonna say,
I'm sure something will happen
it's
there.
bound to do something at a place like this. Okay. You make your way into this tavern, but nonetheless, a local bar. And you make your way in through the door. Close it up behind you. You can hear that it's relatively, it's not super packed right now. You've got probably anywhere between what looks like a capacity of about like 160 people maybe. You're looking at maybe like high 30s in the number range. It's just any other day, any other night really. It's your usuals coming in, and a couple people, you know, chose tonight to make something out of it. When you step in, you know, you can hear that there is a band trying to make something out of this normal day. You know, they're getting paid to do it, so they'll be here for when they can. As you make your way through, you see, you know, one...
I was quite famous in my day.
Old,
Perhaps you've heard of me.
old drunken man. He's just wasted, you know, talking to himself. You know, I really was.
I really was quite famous in my day.
This is good. And he holds up the drink. And he leans back, and you can see dribble come down from his forehead. As you can hear him what you first think is gulps, you can tell is actually just since the cup is here, the rim is at his nose, he's trying to not drown himself. I was gonna say he's trying to not nasally drown himself, basically. As he leans back, it gets you to kind of give a bit of a smile. See that some lives are, a little bit as questionable as yours right now. I'm assuming you make your way to the bar or something like that. As you make your way up,
Rye gets dematerialized, by the way. So he goes back.
Right.
Not being there.
Back into the pouch. As you make your way in through the doors and make your way up to the you would probably sit at the stools probably, or would you find a booth or a round table to sit by yourself?
How many people are at the physical bar?
You got about 3 people at the physical bar. Most of the other people are either at circle tables or booths located towards the edge of the bar, or not the edge of the bar, but towards the edge of the place.
At the physical bar, I'll find myself kind of by myself on one end.
Okay. You can see that there is somebody definitely working the bar right now. She places some stuff down. She wipes the table for just a moment, and cleans it off. She seems to be talking to somebody. And it seems for her, it's a very good conversation. She seems very interested in what he's saying, and he looks a little bit more off the rocker a tad bit. She approaches to you, and kind of like places a cup next to you, and doesn't say anything, but instead kind of like looks at you and goes,
what can I see on, like, in terms of, like, the taps? Is there anything kind of...
most of this place is probably, from what you can tell, give me a investigation check.
Gotcha. I'm excited to see what this female looks like.
I will give you a description in just a moment.
20 plus... You said investigation?
Yes.
Nine.
9? Your eyes don't really tell you much. You can tell that most of this has been imported, but most of it's just ale or beers and other things, you know, just sent down as extras from the United Republic. So it's nothing big, nothing looks expensive. They're just drinking or like sipping beers and stuff like that.
Then I kind of slide the cup that she just gave me more towards her, and I say, just give me something that'll help me forget.
Okay. As you do, I'm assuming you put coin on the table?
Yes.
You place coin on the table, and she, you know, goes to accept it, and she clears off your cup and grabs another one. As she walks away, you can get a better idea of what she looks like. This is, she's another tabaxi. Her fur color is somewhat similar, but there are major differences. She wears a rope going across kind of like her forehead, and behind one ear, but hair really like trickles down. She's got like this piece of mane that really comes down to the side, and kind of like goes just a little bit below her chin that covers one of her own eyes completely. If you look hard, you can kind of see through her hair, just a bit, but, she is very pale in like a yellow color, very like lion looking, kind of like an orange cat almost.
Okay.
She has 2 sets of stripes that both mimic each other on either side that come up. And most of her like shoulder and like outer body is kind of like that same like orange, while like her chest and probably down is like white chested and down. Her eyes are like a almost kind of a yellowy gray, a very bright yellow. And you get more of a notice to this as she comes back and she places it back down on the table. You could hear the dude from earlier kind of like wave her down. She gave you 2 cups and like 2 pieces of silver and change. Both filled tankers with ale with them. She gives you kind of like the wink with the one eye, before turning around to the guy who kind of like waves her over. A blink in her case, since the hair is covering one side of her face. She turns around to go back to the other dude.
Sunglasses on.
As she makes her way back over to the other guy, you can tell he's a very infatuated dude. You know, he's obviously flirting with her. Kind of awkwardly, though. He is a drunken man, as what most of the people in here, you know, are on the tones of alcohol and whatnot. You could hear, however, that one thing that would have probably caught you off guard is the fact that she didn't say any words to you. She's having a conversation with him, though. But the question is it's not in a common language. Give me an intelligence throw.
Intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
Where did my paste go, you fuck? I gotta type it out again. Copy. There we go. Intelligence. 19.
19, very well. She's speaking Leonin. And
I do not.
she's speaking Leonin. I do not. Just comes up with the executive conclusion of no. I do not understand.
Yeah.
So their conversation goes swimmingly from what it seems to be between the two of them. She stands, as you kind of get a better look, she's not very tall. She stands at about 5'6"-ish. A little bit smaller, like 5'6", 5'7". If you count the ears, 5'8". And if you're looking from a guy's perspective, 6 foot. Making making a height joke. Sorry, that didn't really land. But she is relatively more. She is a skinnier girl. And the conversation that she's having, you know, she bounces it back and forth. You can hear a sound come from your back pocket, and it is the sound of kind of like a little. As you know, kind of like sniffing the air, you hear like the of like a noise come back, and you can see like the seal nose of your friend kind of like poke out and like sniff the air for just a moment. He seems to have the notice of something. He's got the nose for something right now.
I kind of watch him with a furrowed eyebrow, like.
With a passive, I'm gonna go with passive here. With a passive perception, you can see that he's pointing towards a large, like, group board. Large, board on the side of the, tavern. Or inside on the wall of the tavern.
Yeah.
Is this thumbtack board. It's been filled with, you know, recruiting, job applications looking for people in financial fields,
Right.
and whatnot like that. Anybody good with like money, like trade regulation, other things like that. But there's something buried there's something buried underneath all of these pieces of parchment.
I kind of place my hand on the part where he's sniffing through, and I kind of pat his nose, and I'm like, get back in there.
He shrinks back down and kind of goes back, and you can see him kind of like turn back to essence inside the bag.
And I carry my tankard. She gave me 2, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll leave one tankard on the bar, and I walk over to the board.
Okay.
Holding the other tankard.
You make your way onto the board, and you get a better examination of the bird. You know, it seems like what mostly consists on this board is them actively looking for people with either financial or governmental experience. As kind of like, you know, this game's version of Indeed. It's a lot of jobs looking. With deeper looks into it, you can see that what's kind of being had is like looking into trade relations and other things like that. Looking for people that speak different languages and other things like that. But the thing that catches your eye is what's underneath all of this. It's a piece of what seems to be aged parchment paper. That it looks like it's been sitting there for quite a while, especially with the fact that it seems to be buried under a lot of other pieces that look torn to you.
Right.
Do you care to investigate?
I would like to investigate.
Would you like to investigate?
I would like to investigate.
I think you would like to investigate. As you reach your hand behind all of the other pieces of paper, you tear off this little piece and kind of like funnel your hand through as you bring it past through these pieces. You take a deep look at it, and it is a bounty poster. On the bounty poster, you see something relatively familiar. Give me a history check to see how good your memory is.
Okie dokie. Straight. 18.
18. It is a 2D painting, or a 2D art sketch, done by the local law, I guess you could say, but done by local law, of a tabaxi. But the facial structure is not... It's familiar. But in the past couple of times, you've seen a tabaxi or two. While examining this further, you hear whispers come from behind you. It triggers an ear, and you get a small glance back to see that the bartender, the female tabaxi bartender, she leans into this person's ear and starts whispering things in a different language. Do you speak Gnomish?
I don't.
Okay. With that in mind, what do you choose to do? Do you continue to try to examine the piece of paper? Do you see what those whisperings about? Her eyes go between you and the dude's ear. But at quick glance, it's a tabaxi.
Right. To be honest, I'm just gonna keep looking at the paper, because I feel like my character would just kind of be like, they're talking about me. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And
just kind of like let it be. They'll say what they'll say. It's not gonna, change anything. So, as you turn your head back down, you get a better look at this tabaxi in the sketch. It is male structure. The face is young with fluffy hair. But for this photo, it kind of seems all over the place. The neck is scrawny. The shoulders are somewhat out there. And his teeth are not really showing. The final bit that strikes you off is that the bounty that is on the head of this person. And that immediately is something that catches your eye as something that is not a normal bounty that you've seen at most other places. Now, mind you, this is no $10,000 bounty. This is no worldly renowned wanted criminal of such, but it is a little bit of an unsettling warning. The person, if I could possibly try to get this in correct stature, there we go. The bounty that he has on him right now is 500 in gold. Wanted for vandalism, theft over 7,000 in gold pieces, and 2 counts of breaking and entering. As you take a very deep examination of this photo, It strikes you as looking very familiar to someone that you've seen in the past. Before you could make two and two come together, you are immediately knocked from the back as your hat is immediately like tipped off and tipped forwards.
Okay, I feel the force. Like he didn't hit me, he hit my
He
hat.
did hat, yeah.
Like he tipped my hat off.
Like tipped the hat off, yeah, from behind.
Did my hat fall to the floor?
Your hat kind of like goes against the board before trickling onto the ground and like laying in between your feet, right side up.
I kind of look down at the hat.
You hear a chuckle
And
from
with a-
behind you.
I turn full body turn, and I stare at this motherfucker deep in his fucking pupils.
You hear from everybody kind of like sitting around as he says, "You are one ugly son of a gun." And kind of like everyone gives like a gentle laughter to that now being able to see your face in full.
I reach down and I grab the top of my hat, and as I come up, before I put the hat on, I look him up and down and I go, "You know, you're not much to look at either, mate. You got a problem?"
Last time I checked, they didn't let barnacles drink. And you hear kind of like the rest of everybody else kind of give that more volume-esque laugh as it kind of like raises in like local giggles.
What is this? What is this guy?
This
What's
is the
his
same
race?
dude that the
That was talking at the
Tabaxi was
bar?
talking. Yep.
So the other Tabaxi.
No, so the female Tabaxi from behind the bar was talking to a human.
So this
That
is a
was
human.
the guy. This is a human who
So
stands.
this is a human talking to me.
Yeah. Description of this guy. He has hair. He's bald middle part. Kind of like with like the sideburns that like come over.
Mhm.
His face is aged in acne. You can tell that he's been on. You know, he looks like a not well keeping sailor. You know, he looks like someone that kind of just on a boat, never really did much. Is kind of like the sight that you see. He's more wide set buff, almost like bulk buff, but not
Mm.
like strong. Like he hasn't physically come across
He's strong
as like
because he's
strong.
big.
He's strong. Yeah, I was gonna say he's strong because he's got a bit of weight to carry, but he stands kind of like eye to eye with you.
Mm. And you said last time I checked, they don't allow barnacles in here.
Yeah.
I put my hat back on, and I say to him, "Might want to pull your head out of your ass," as I shoulder check him and walk past him before you get hurt.
The moment you do that, he yells out, "Hey," and quickly grabs your arm.
The second he latches onto my arm, Rye will manifest out of the bag and just absolutely fucking chomp down on this fucker's shoulder.
Chomp down on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me make an attack action for Rye.
I have his character
Do you
sheet.
have it on you? Okay, so if you have it on you,
I
go
have
for
his
it.
sheet thing. I'm pretty sure I do.
I thought I was.
Yeah, here we go. Hunting hound, armor class. Here, I'll screenshot and send it to you.
Okay. Do the attack first. I don't need it for right now. As long as you
Okay.
have it.
Let's see. Yes. Okay. So it's called the attack action's called Maul, and it
Okay.
is a 1d4 plus 2 plus my proficiency.
Okay. Full send, friend.
So that would be roll 1d4 plus 4. Seven, not bad.
Anything extra? Because I will say it hits for him. Because for me, I'd make a reaction, but not for this
It's
guy.
slashing damage, and I need to flip a coin.
Okay.
One is, or yeah, you flip the coin.
Yep.
One is causes bleeding. 2 is causes no bleeding.
Okay. So 1 bleeding, 2 no bleeding. 1. Okay. Oh yeah, he's cooked. So I got you. Immediately he like lunges, kind of like freaking Jack in a Box. He lunges out from the bag and gets a almost his entire maw around the shoulder of this guy and takes a huge, just audible chomp at his shoulder and kind of like lingers there for a moment. And he's going, ow! Ah! And he's like holding him. You hear as he like stumbles back and knocks into the table behind him. As you can see that he's still holding on, and it's the dude with the drunk bottle. He goes, he kind of like spills it off to the side. What are you doing, man? Wait! And he comes down, like, smacking him on, like, the face with the tankard, and, like, ripping it across his nose. And you hear the dude who gets bought.
Or just another random dude.
Yeah. You watch as somebody immediately comes to, like, help the guy off the ground. And the drunk dude reaches his arms out like a bear and just, like, grabs onto the dude behind him. That's trying to help him up, and rips off that guy and tosses him over to you. Before, like, he, like, kind of, like, you know, like, stumbles back into you, turns, and knowing that you were the one that kind of, like, at least was responsible for the unleash of the dog, he throws a fist at you, and we are going to see if this hits. Does a 3 hit?
3 does not hit.
I would assume not. Fingers crossed. It would. I'll go with your turn after that. So yeah, give me your reaction.
A reaction would be as he throws that punch. I just kind of want to slip, grab the shoulders, and just fucking rear back and headbutt this dude right in the nose.
Okay, as he throws his arm, you go like underneath, grabbing the middle of his shirt with one arm, and using the other to reach over his shoulder. You kind of like forcefully turn him to the side, pulling him close, and with a hard hit, you like knock him back over. And as he sits there stunned, you watch as a younger tiefling who was in the bar, he runs over with amazing pace and just spears the dude who you headbutted in the chest, and the entire bar turns into a bar brawl with just everybody hitting each other and everyone going round for round, as the bard decides that it's probably a good time to continue just playing and see where life takes him, as things are just being like absolutely thrown around. Everything is like stumbling across. Things are moving. Do you want to like jump in somewhere and see if you can land another shot?
I think it'd be funnier if I just go back and sit at my other tankard, but I find out my tankard's been drinking.
As you go back to the other tankard, you watch as the yes, it has been. As you make your way back over to the other tankard, you go to like search as you lean back with a smile as your hand like creases the table. And as you do, you don't feel where the other tankard is supposed to be. And you look back across like the bar to see where it goes, and you can watch as the female tabaxi, as she goes back into the bag, she finishes it and then chucks it into the crowd and gives you a like a shrug before she like locks the door. and like keeps herself from everything, and you watch as like the tankard flies across the room and hits somebody in like the top of the head, like bonking them straight forehead, and they turn to you and it looks like you threw it from the bar because there's no one there anymore, and it's just a fuming heated rage as you are charged again. Give me another dexterity. Give me a dexterity throw, please.
Dexterity would be 17.
You said a dexterity of 17?
17. Yes.
As this other dude comes charging towards you, you use the countertop as kind of like a push-off, and you push yourself off as he proceeds to run in between you and the bar and headbutts himself into the wall, just to the other side as you watch his body go limp and kind of like keel over, as he kind of like went head first trying to like hit you. Immediately people start assuming that you're responsible for him too, and grabbed by the side of the shirt, you get pulled into the kerfuffle. And I'm gonna make you roll one last time before we wrap this up. And I'm gonna ask you for a strength roll, and we're gonna see if you kind of come out on top, or eventually it kind of succumbs you with the amount of people in here.
Alright, here we go. Strength roll?
Yeah.
A 22.
A 22. You definitely come out on top, but sadly that comes to fruition of not being the good type of coming out on top eventually. Immediately the doors swing over, open with soldiers. And they all yell out, "What is the meaning of this?" as they watch somebody get like thrown on a table and dragged across. You hear is like a large. We'll give him like a large like longsword. He bangs it twice on the countertop table, and people begin to stop, but you don't stop, and you are wailing on the dude who you hit first.
Who ride chomped?
Yeah, who ride chomped. What how would you say you come out of this situation if you are just going to town on this guy?
I'd say I just wouldn't stop until they pull me off, and then I'm gonna just start fighting the guards too.
Fighting the guards too?
I wouldn't say like, you know.
Oh, like wrestling them off you, kind of like okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense now. I was about to say, maybe you were in jail for a longer period of time. I was about to say, maybe you were in jail for a longer period of time. Maybe you should change what your character goes to jail for. No, as you kind of like make your way out of the fight, you find yourself kind of like leaned over top of him, on top of the table, as you are just going ham with one hand, just bam, 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 just against the table, just. And you've just laid into bro's nose as he's just bleeding from his face, and it's just black and blue from like these eyes down almost. As you wail on him, and a bunch of like soldiers kind of like reach their arms around you and like pull you back as you continue to tussle.
I want to whistle
between
to
each
have
other.
Rye go back, because I'm sure Rye was in there fucking biting people too.
Rye was in the mix, but I think what would you say? He probably makes his way before the police come.
As I'm starting to get dragged away, I just go.
Oh, okay.
Whistle,
so as you get dragged back and like off of the other dude, one captain looking dude, heavy set of armor, he asks, "What is the meaning of this?" And immediately before you could say anything, the drunk human is the first one to speak. "That beast of a creature decided to throw at me first. And look what he did to me." And he's kind of like shows his hands as it's just kind of like clear like river of blood as he blames you for starting the incident. The captain, like before he turns to you, I'm assuming you have a rebuttal in anger. What would you say is a rebuttal to that situation?
Honestly, I feel like my character would just be shooting dirty looks. I don't think he'd say anything.
The captain approaches you after he says that, and he comes to you and goes, "Did you start this? Is this your fault?"
I warned him to pull his head out of his ass, otherwise he'd get hurt.
Did you swing
Fuck around
first?
and find out. No, sir.
And he looks back at the other dude and sees that, he is a lot more
Not
bloodier
only is
than
there a
you are.
chunk
I was about to
taken
say,
out, not only is there a
bro's
chunk
been
taken out of his
beaten
arm.
half senseless and looks a lot injured. And for him, there's no dog to compare that to. So he says, "Looks like you took a bit of more of a bite out of him. How about we bring you downtown to hold you over for a little bit, huh? Till you calm down. Whatever creature you think you are. Let's go this way." And he like grabs you and makes you kind of like forcefully walks you out of the bar as like one of the guards is giving him the other guy in the fight a napkin to clean up his face. And as you walk away, they tell you that you are going to jail for assault and battery. Eventually they bring you in, they lock you in a large cell. There's a holding cell for most. You watch as a couple people leave in and out, and as you ask, as days go by, when is it your turn to leave? They say that you still got about a week or so. As you sit there, you watch as people come and go. Some people being held over for similar-esque issues, but let out a little bit quicker than you. Some for public intoxication, but other people to bust them out. And as you watch as some of these people get busted out, you kind of get that sinking reminder of they could probably hold you over for as long as they wanted to. And unless you had somebody to bust you out, which you don't.
Not yet.
Well, life gets pretty lonely for about 3 days in the cell. It ends up just being just you, same old, Mott's balls is the best thing that they can kind of supply for a while. And at first, it's a bit better. It's not the worst food you've ever eaten, a sizable Mott's ball. But after a while, there's nothing else, really. It's just one Mott's ball after another. Before eventually you hear the cage door open and somebody be placed inside there with you. As the door closes behind them, it says, "Don't you get any..." One of the guards who's standing guard says, "Don't you two get any ideas?" As he walks away, and you take an examination from this human who's in here with you. It's not the human that you got into a bar fight about a week ago. He's a bit taller than you. His outfit is more now, it looks kind of tribal, almost. He doesn't say anything to you except give you a look before standing up straight. And for the past couple of days, you feel like the only thing he does is stand up straight and look at the bars. Do you have anything to say?
Nope. Nothing. I don't give a fuck about any of these people.
Was your final words at the end of the session? You didn't even say your character name this entire time, did you?
I did not.
What was your character's name?
Barnes Harper.
Barnes Harper spends the next week in a holding cell with a possible other future friend. Who really knows? But for that course of period of time, he sits there by himself. One of the first people to be put in the cell for quite a while. And as he watches people come in and out, 5 more people join him before mid-April, where from the depressingness of his journeys from long ago, haunt him still to this day, there's an out for him on a possible note. Come soon future. The question is, does the fisherman take the bait? Join us February 22nd for the first group campaign featuring Kade as Bryce Harper, our group's paladin. As
Bryce Barnes.
Did I say Bryce Harper?
You said Bryce Harper.
My bad, wrong person. As Barnes Harper joins the party as the party's paladin. I will see you guys on February 22nd. I will see Barnes Harper on February 22nd. And if you would like to see more of us or anything behind, or even join the team on the terms of, hopping in the Discord server or staying updated with all of our Twitch streams, the link is down below. Good night, everybody. And remember, all fate is decided at the table. Good night.